Welcome everyone. It's so glad to see you tonight. Welcome to Solutions with Dr. Deb. And remember, don't judge my journey if you don't understand my walk. You never look the day through my eyes or walk the day in my shoes. So sometimes it's hard to know what I'm feeling inside. So I just want to welcome you. I thank you so much for joining me tonight. And as I have my wonderful guest host here is Talani. Hello, Talani. How are you?
I'm good, Dr. Deb. How are you? How is everyone doing?
Wonderful. I just think you look so beautiful tonight, girlfriend.
So do you, Dr. Deb. You know I have to keep up. I can't come up here looking.
Well, I tell you what, as I said with our viewers tonight, saying we got a wonderful topic tonight. It's self-love versus self-destruction. I tell you what, we need to love ourselves a little more, right? We want to give props to Studio 21 that's given me this grand opportunity to represent tonight. And I just thank you again for joining us. And as we continue to go deep down into this subject, I want this to be something that you really think about, even after the show is over. Think about, how much self-love you've given yourself lately. How much have you done for yourself lately? But now that, how much have you done for the God in you lately? Sometimes we miss the bigger picture in life. And the bigger picture is just what it is. Am I doing what I'm supposed to? Am I living in purpose? Am I living towards my destiny? Or am I people pleasing? Am I codependent? Am I leaving myself out in the cold for things to just happen to me and I'm not even walking in my authority or my abundant life mind? And it's very important for us to understand self-love. Self-love is a wonderful thing. It's all right. It's not just getting up in the morning, combing your hair, putting your makeup on, those lashes, what I'm saying? Because them girls be slayed, don't they? Girl, they be looking good, don't they?
Beat face and everything else they call it these days on social media.
Okay, so I want to know what's behind that. What I'm saying? We can look good on the outside. We can put on all the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, all
labels.
Those wonderful, and that's all they
and
are.
More labels.
That's all they are.
And more labels.
Okay, but at the realness of it, what's behind the face? Huh? What's behind the facade? What's behind all the makeup? You know what I'm saying? And guys, I'm talking to y'all too, okay? Because y'all want to make sure that, you have everything in order. You want the women to be, look at you as all together, moving around, saying flexing and all that. But what's behind all of that? Like I said, we can take care of our outside, but when are we going to take care of our inside? What you think about that, Talani?
Well, Dr. Deb, love is a four-letter word. So we know four-letter words are usually negative, but when we talk about love, we're talking about care, concern, interest.
Absolutely.
Because when we talk about love, filial love, brotherly love, but most times a lot of us nowadays have mistaken that for a level of intimacy that's purely physical. Purely physical lust. And so that need for acceptance, that need for to be embraced, that need has superseded everything. So now what we have is a generation of people who use everything within their monetary power to look the part, to look the role. So that's where you get the makeup and the weave and the labels, which I mentioned so much of, because we've become very dependent on those things now. So you're saying self-love, Dr. Deb. Well, we have to kind of break down that four-letter word and make it a beautiful word again. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how this conversation is going to go today, and I know everyone else is.
Well, absolutely. One thing about self-love, I always break it down into the understanding of this, and this is Dr. Deb's definition, not Webster's.
I'm ready for it.
Okay, self-love is when we have the ability with actions and behavior to take the time to love our whole being. mind, body, and soul. And we refuse to allow anything to break us down. No matter what life throws us, no matter what we go through, we're not going to be put in the position, or we won't put ourselves in a position where we are constantly being ridiculed, put down, taken advantage of, stepped on, dragged down, dragged out, torn apart.
Dr. Deb.
Girl, I get emotional with this right here.
And you need to. I really believe that you should. But got a question for you. Yes. Mind, body, and soul. Is there one that outranks the other?
Absolutely. And what outranks the other is, I think we need to be very cautious of our mind and our spirit.
Mind and spirit.
Yes.
So we're going to throw the body out for a second.
Well, see, one thing, the body only responds to what your mind thinks.
The body responds to what the mind thinks. Okay, I can see that.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, the body responds to what the mind thinks. So
exactly.
The power is in the mind, and it transfers through the body.
Absolutely. For example, if I'm angry, guess what? My body knows I'm angry. I'm going to get tense. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my heart is going to race. Sometimes I can't hardly breathe. And I'm not just talking about me personally, but this people
in general.
Exactly. They get to a point where, you know what I'm saying, their face is balled up, they start feeling heavy in the chest, heat all around the ears.
So these are just physical manifestations of the anxiety or anger or stress that people feel on a daily basis. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, we have to know how to switch to soothe. Switch to soothe is when I am going to take the time to love myself despite what I'm going through.
Switch to smooth.
Switch to soothe.
To soothe. I'm sorry.
S-O-O-T-H-E.
I went to the other opposite of the love. Smooth.
Switch to soothe.
Okay.
If you don't know how to soothe yourself, and I'm not talking about what your man can do for you, so don't get it twisted. I'm talking about you, okay? Which means that, how do we soothe ourselves when we are so stressed out and we're pressured by life? Do you give yourself a break? Or do you just run yourself in the ground and then start complaining about, I'm so tired, I don't know what to do? But guess what? You've been tired a long time ago. So when is it going to dawn on you that you're pushing yourself too hard? You know what I'm saying? And if you're not pushing yourself for you, who are you pushing yourself for? You know what I'm saying? The people live for other people all the time. And then, we get to these, what they call passive aggressive moments. Oh, yes, I did this for you, but Lord, I really don't want to do it. But I do it anyway. And so as soon as I see you coming, here she come again, asking me for some money.
I kind of want to take it back to what you mentioned, Dr. Deb, because you're putting a lot out there and everyone needs to hear it, but I want to make sure that they're actually getting the substance and the meat of what you're saying. You said taking a break.
Yes.
Taking a break. So our society is so fast-paced. We live in such a hyper-vigilant, hyper-socialized society. When we're talking about taking a break, I think we actually need a real life image of what that means, because when most times people are taking a break, we overindulge in food, we overindulge in alcohol, we overindulge in sleep even sometimes if we've moved over to where the stress has made someone maybe sad or depressed. Where's the balance, Dr. Deb?
The balance is when your body and your mind and your spirit start giving you all signals.
Okay, signals.
First is agitation, okay, and then it's irritation. Then you get to frustration.
All the Asians.
All the TIONs, okay? You go through all of that. You go through all the TIONs,
okay.
And then once you're not even angry yet. You're just irritated. Sometimes people wake up irritated. Talani, I'm so serious.
They call that the wrong side of the bed, Dr. Deb? That's what I heard.
But they had to go to sleep on the wrong side of the bed, too, before they went to sleep.
Yeah.
They didn't understand switching to soothe. We were talking about that. Switching to soothe is giving yourself enough time to heal eternally. Inside. When we heal eternity, it's like, okay, what does that feel like to have total peace?
I love that word. Can I repeat it?
Yes,
Peace.
you can.
Peace. I feel like maybe someone that's listening or watching needs to hear that word peace. The word in itself is soothing. Peace. The Bible says, peace be unto you. Peace be unto you. And that's in troubled times. That's in times of joy. But just peace. We don't have that. Dr. Deb, we do not have that. What happened?
The love waxed cold. The love waxed cold. You know, one thing, God gives us a very specific instructional manual, and that's called the Holy Bible.
All right.
And for those may not, it's not just words. It's not this gathering of words. There's certain things that's required of us to live, people. It's required for us to live. You know, God did not put us in a position on the earth just to be in turmoil, in torment. There's so much going on out there. I mean, people killing each other. I mean, mother against father, father against mother, and children against. I mean, it's so much that's going on. And we missed the biggest picture. Nobody knows how to love anymore. Nobody knows even how to love themselves. You know, I give you the statistics.
Okay.
Okay?
I love statistics.
You
by the
love
way.
statistics?
I love
I tell
math.
you
I like
what.
science. All of it.
Okay,
What you got?
this is the statistics.
Okay.
You got 1% of people that have total peace.
1%.
Out of billions of people, 1%. And then you got 3% of people that struggle with it. One minute they got it, next minute that they don't. You know, and then you got the other 98 percentile that wouldn't take peace if you wrapped it up in a beautiful bow and gave it to them. You see what I'm saying? Because they say, I never can be happy. I'll never have a love. I'll never be accepted. Everything always happens to me. And that's the woe is me mentality.
Okay.
You know, self-pity.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what? Fear and love can't occupy the same space. This can't happen. No. They can't occupy the same space. So you're going to give more energy to one of those things. You're either going to give it to love or you're going to give it to fear. And that's the question that everybody needs to ask themselves. You know, how much love are you giving out? How much love are you taking in?
So we're back to this 4-letter word again, love. Okay, so how much are we receiving? How much are we giving? So in the past, in various healthcare settings I've worked, and I know you've worked, Dr. Deb, we try to teach self-love, self-care techniques. So when we're getting back to that love and what we give, I usually ask the question, is it better to give or to receive? So I just want to kind of throw that question your way. Better to give or receive? What do you think?
Well, what I think is this. We need to have a balance.
Okay.
We can't give too much and we can't receive too much.
That is such a fantastic
You have to have
answer.
boundaries. You have to have limits. Because if you don't, you're going to fall off the narrow road. You're going to get too far out there. And when you get too far out there, you're not going to find your way back. Because guess what? Ain't going to be no breadcrumbs. Okay? So understand, keep balance. I'm going to give you the 4 P's tonight. Perseverance, persistence, patience, and prayer.
Okay, I'm I read, but I like to learn. So I know somebody else probably missed that 4th one, but I didn't. It was prayer. So give me the first 3.
Perseverance, persistence, patience, and prayer.
Got it.
And I don't mind breaking them down, Talani, so you can get a better understanding.
I would prefer that you did, because I want to learn, and I know everybody else wants to learn. So give it to me, Dr. Deb. I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to take perseverance.
Okay.
Now, the term perseverance means to keep going despite your challenges, despite your obstacles, despite if you fall down, to get back up and keep moving. Persevere, to endure. To endure through life, even when you don't know where the strength is coming from, even when you're so worn out that you have no idea what move to make. But see, we got a God. Hallelujah.
Yes.
I just don't want you to forget this concept. Even when we are torn down, even when we don't know what else to do, we can always lean on the everlasting arms.
Praise the Lord. Thank you.
You know, you ain't in this alone. You're not in this alone. He is forever omnipresent, omnipotent, always
Yes.
will never leave you nor forsake you.
Hallelujah.
You're not in this alone. So I'm talking to somebody out there because I feel a move of the Spirit when I say that. Somebody out there is feeling broken. Somebody out there is feeling alone, like you're going through something that you don't know what to do, that you don't have no other recourse, that all your friends done threw you to the side, family is not there, and you feel all alone. But let me tell you something. If you could just move out of your way for 1 second.
Yes.
And go to the God that loves you, that sent his son.
That is love. Yes.
That is Jesus. Jesus replicated love. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling you this is a religious thing. No, this is a spiritual thing. You got to understand who God really is. He's a loving spirit that loves you, even when you don't know how to love yourself anymore.
Amen.
Even when you don't even know what love is. So I just want to just tell you, just allow yourself just to love yourself just a few minutes. Move out of your way and just let it come in. So these 4 P's, like I said, perseverance, persistent. Persistence is not just to keep going, but to go far and beyond.
Over and beyond.
Over and beyond. Because guess what? Once you start moving, once you start getting that understanding where you're like, wow, I can really do this. This is happening. The universe is going to give you everything you need. God is just waiting for you to move out of your way.
Take that first step.
Take that first step, right?
Yes.
Okay, now we got some patience on this thing. And that's the hardest thing any person can maintain, including Dr. Dev. I get challenged. Okay? Because sometimes I want things to happen when I want them to happen. But I got to understand and trust the universe and this. Trust God. If it's not time, time needs to be your best friend, not your worst enemy. Okay? So when time says it's time, it's okay. And I don't care if it's a bill being due. I don't care if somebody knocking on your door and wants you to answer. I don't care if you're being pressured by whatever. But if it's not time, guess what? You have to tell them, I'm sorry. I'm coming. I'm going to get there. It's just not at this particular moment. And then we got this wonderful thing called prayer.
I want to talk. That's really the meat of what I wanted us to talk about today. Because, well, I'll let you get into it before I make my comment. I'll wait.
That's all right tonight.
I'll try and exercise a little patience.
Go ahead. Well, I tell you what, prayer is the petition to God. It's when you're knocking on his door. Prayer is the petition to God. What he said? He said knock. Didn't he say it?
He said knock.
But not only did he say knock, he said that what the door would be what?
Open. But see, Dr. Deb, for some situations, I know I look like I'm all precious and kind, but I'd rather kick the door in with my prayers. Well, I don't know about others. But, you know, it just depends on your level of faith. And what I wanted to get to about the prayer, Dr. Deb, is what about meditation? What is that? Because, see, we live in a different era, a different time. The Bible remains the same. The concepts, the precepts, the understanding, the wisdom, it all remains the same. But society has changed a bit. So we have people who meditate. That's prayer?
Well, I'll tell you what. Meditation is very important because it's spending time with yourself.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with meditation. The only thing is that when we meditate, we go into a deep self-conscious state.
Yes.
Okay? And it depends on what you're meditating for.
The purpose.
The purpose of meditation.
Gotcha.
The purpose of meditation is to get closer to thyself.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we don't spend time with ourselves because we're too busy doing things for other people, working, doing family, things that like if we're mothers or fathers.
Duties, responsibilities.
Obligation.
Right,
I invented a word.
Obligation.
So, in other words, we got so much going on, So when we meditate, sometimes we need to sit quietly and just breathe. When did you have a moment just to breathe? Take some deep breaths, in your nose. It's called 1, 2, 3, and blow it out slowly so you can feel the breath move through your body.
That's taking that break we mentioned earlier.
Listen.
That's taking that break.
Yes.
And then I think so to help my fellow youths out there, teenagers, young adults, that the meditation can then turn into prayer time when you invite God into your space and say, Lord, even if you don't know how to start prayers. Because see, I was one of those that did not, because growing up in the church, you know, other people led prayer. So what I actually had to do was get on the internet, Google, everybody, Google, and famous prayers in the Bible. Famous prayers. And there was one thing that I came to find out, Dr. Deb, do you know what it was? That most of those famous prayers started with thanksgiving. Most of those famous prayers started with thanksgiving. It wasn't about the actual petition for that favor, for that job,
Right.
for that husband. Anybody out there? For whatever it is that we're desiring, it's the thankfulness for the right to life. Observing his beauty in nature. In this civilized country we live in. I don't know.
I think that's a beautiful thing. That's an awesome thing. I think it's very important that we understand life in a huge office, because we get so channel visioned. You know what I mean by that? We just get focused on one thing and one thing only: making money and satisfying people.
Woo! Dr. Deb, why are you calling everybody out like that?
Oh,
Why did you have to do?
it's
Making
true.
money and pleasing people. I don't have a fan. I don't know. Oh my gosh.
But is it truth? Is that truth?
It's true.
I bet if we was to take a toll and find out how many people are actually, so I'm so serious, how many people are actually living their life just for themselves, we will be shocked how small that number is.
Selfish.
You know, and it's real. It's real. It's real. But all I'm saying is, people, give yourself some time. Because self-love is very important, because self-destruction is a thin line between love and hate. There's a thin line between love and hate.
That's the truth.
And God loves you, but he also wants you to love yourself. You know, many of us waiting on the Lord to do something, but guess what? What are you doing? And what have you done for God lately? For him to do it.
Done for him
You see what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, once we get to an understanding that we can look beyond what we see, beyond what we expect, then this is when we can really get to the bigger picture of things.
Amen.
Because we go through so much in just one lifespan. You got 0 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and there go, and on and on. Every lifespan has its own woes. Every lifespan has its own victory. Every lifespan has its own happiness.
Dr. Deb, I just have to say, I love that you teach. I love that you teach, because you just took me back to college, Georgia Southern University. I have to shout out my alma mater. And you just mentioned the lifespan. So that is actually an actual course, lifespan development. So we have all of our philosophers who say that these are the stages from infancy all the way onto older adulthood. And it's important that we're able to recognize that each set of decades that you just mentioned comes with their own specific challenges and lessons. And the best way to get to those lessons is to give yourself a break, like you mentioned, and love yourself. And so I'm really hoping that you can give us a couple of nuggets before we end this broadcast on some self-help homework.
Absolutely. I can definitely do that. You know, one thing, you need to stay in your gratitude chamber.
Oh.
Okay, gratitude chamber is just what it is. When you wake up in the morning, you thank God, my eyes is open. You thank God for the pillow that your head laid on. You thank God for the covers that you pulled up on. You thank God even for the mattress and the box spring. You start thanking the universe for everything that you have. Because guess what? Just imagine this. If you woke up and you didn't have a bed and you had to lay on the floor. Imagine this. You didn't have a toothbrush at all and had no accessibility to a toothbrush. How much would your life change? Even a washcloth or a towel to dry and cleanse your body. So everything is precious to you. And that's the form of what we got to get into that love chamber. When we stay in gratitude, fear cannot attack the mind.
Yes.
When we stay in gratitude, fear cannot misuse you or try to put you in position to make you think you don't have enough of this or don't have enough of that. Because that's what gratitude does. It gives and keeps on giving. And that's the most important thing.
Yes.
So, I want to also tell you this. When we stay in gratitude, we give God the permission to bless us wholeheartedly.
Amen.
We don't get in the way. We don't try to control. We don't try to tell and manipulate anything, because we're like, okay, I'm willing to give. I'm willing to let go. I'm willing to give, and I'm willing to let go. Because a lot of people are holding on to things out there that are blocking your blessings. And girl, that might be a man.
Woo! I told you to stop exposing us.
All
now.
woman.
I said us. I have to be
I'm just
honest.
being real. I'm so sorry.
But you are, Dr.
I'm
Devin,
just being real.
and I can appreciate that from you. You know, in the word, it's a famous phrase that most people know. It says, "Give thanks in all things. Give thanks always." And Apostle Paul always mentions the fact that whether it's the fact that he's in chains or when he's free, but he has learned that in all things to give thanks in all things. So I have to bring
Now
that
you done
to
start something over
to
here.
the current present day age, Dr. Deb, because chains are not metallic iron clad around your wrist or around your ankles. There are a lot of things that are keeping people down and in bondage. And what we need to know, like what you're saying, is that we have that power within each and every one of us. One of the first things that you ever told me when I met you, Dr. Deb, and I just have to go ahead and give you a shout out, is that the God that's in us,
Yes.
he's in us. That breath of life is in us.
Yes.
There's no science in the world that can bring actual life into an inanimate object. Inanimate. That's that love, and it's dwelling and it's in fire in our core. We just need to be able to realize that we have that, Dr. Deb.
That's right.
that love and that gratitude chamber. A chamber is an enclosed space, but what do you do in that space?
Well, I tell you what you do with it, you walk in authority with it. You walk in all dominion. We don't get the blessings for feeling that we are without or we are in lack. We don't get the blessings to feel that we are broken or fragmented or pushed aside. You know what I'm saying? We don't get the blessings to feel we're just abused people.
Thrown away.
Like bad, like something like a pair of bad shoes that hurt your feet. No, we don't get the blessings like that. What we get is we walk in our authority. We walk in all dominion.
Amen.
We live like that. Free your mind and the rest will follow. That is the word of God. God usually gives us everything we need. He's just waiting for us to move out the way so he can give us some more. And until we understand the word give, the word gives means to open up yourself to give to another human being and also to give yourself. Don't leave you out. Don't leave you out. It's very important that you understand that. Because self-awareness is the greatest tool known to human being. You have to know what you need. You got to know and take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else.
And who you are.
And absolutely. Because if you don't know who you are, how can you know how much you can stand?
Or your value.
Exactly.
Or your actual worth.
You break down so much in the human mind is broken down in so many angles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's broken down subconsciously, consciously, and unconsciously. It's so many things that we have gone through in these lifespans, going through trouble, going through trial and tribulation, persecution, but it is only to make us stronger. It is not to tear us down.
Amen. Yes.
It is not to put us in a place where we feel unrest and, we get into these fears of feeling rejected, feeling abandoned. So now we're jealousy. We're jealous of what somebody else has. We get envy because we can't get what we want because we want to be in control. Well, sometimes we're not going to always be in control. And sometimes you don't need to be. Something else bigger than you needs to take the pilot seat.
I like that.
Okay?
I like it. Let somebody else drive.
Let somebody else drive.
Yeah.
But don't let fear drive. Because if you let fear drive, he's going to drive you somewhere that you don't need to be, and he's going to drive you totally insane. That's not what you want.
It's not.
False evidence appearing real. So how many people out there living lies? How many people out there not living in reality? Self-fulfilling prophecies? No, you want to live truth.
Yes.
And the truth will set you free.
Yes, it will.
Don't self-destruct. Don't self-defeat. Don't tell yourself you're not worthy of love. Don't tell yourself that you're not worthy of somebody even loving you. You know, because love is from the inside out, not the outside in. It's agape, unconditional love. Agape love. You know, love between a woman and a man is called yada in the Hebrew. Yada. There is a chemical release when a man is attracted to a woman. And that's how he knows he's attracted to her, because it's a chemical release. And guess it's released from his mind in his pituitary gland. So all of these things that, you know, we need to learn more. We need to have more education about our minds, about our bodies and our spirit and our souls. Knowing that, you know, we have these scarrings. We get soul scars, we get spiritual scars, we even get mind scars. Yeah. From hurt, pain, you know, all of these things. So I think you need to take a deeper look at yourself. And if you need help, you know, listen, I got an email. I have a business. It's called Journey's Edge Life Consultants. That's what's representing Solutions with Dr. Deb.
Can you go ahead and repeat that for them one more time?
Journey's Edge Life Consultants. Yeah. And if you want to email me, it's Debbie, DEBBIE .CHEBAR @gmail. DEBBIE .CHEBAR @gmail. I don't mind responding to you and helping you. You know, for the locals out there, if you need more, you know, if you need therapy, if you need life consultation or whatever it is, but do something. Do something.
Make that move.
Do something. Do something. And there's a number that I also want to give you. 678-751-8436. 678-751-8436. If you need help, call that number. Leave a message, and I will get back to you. But self-destruction is real.
So that's the opposite, because we started with self-love versus self-destruction. So when we talk about self-destruction, Dr. Deb, how does that manifest? We've discussed, you know, over the last the time on air now, what leads to types of self-destruction, the feelings of abandonment and fear and anger and anguish and trials and tribulation. We've all done that. But what are the actual physical manifestations of self-destruction? What are some typical behaviors that we see with people with that going on?
Self-destruction starts in the mind. It starts in the mind. It's where you get to a point where you've given up on life. You've given up on the ability to thrive. You're not productive. You don't care anymore. You just don't care. You don't care even how you look. You don't care how you dress. You don't care about anything.
Food.
You don't care about nothing. You may eat too much or eat too less or don't eat at all. You may not sleep. You go through all of these. You isolate, and you know, slowly but surely, you're actually becoming very depressed, and not even realizing that you're depressed. You could be functionally depressed. People can go to work every day and still be depressed, and still self-destruct because they're so unhappy with themselves and with their life that they don't know that we do have options. We do have options. Let me give you the 3 sources of power. The three sources of power. First, there is peace. And that's peace of mind, peace of spirit, peace in your emotions, peace in your body. And that comes with self-discipline. It comes with self-love. It comes with a self-alliance. That means we're building something so we can have something. The second power source is called choice. Now, your choices is going to rule over your life. Whatever you choose is what the universe is going to give unto you. And those choices have options. The options are the first thing is going to happen is consequence. Once the consequence happens, here comes a situation, a circumstance, and a repercussion. Every choice you have has those options. We make 60,000 choices a day.
60,000 choices.
Count them from the time you wake up. Every time you move, it's a choice.
It is.
Every time you speak, it's a choice. Every time you even decide anything, it is a choice. What you want to eat, what you want to choose, to wear.
To go to work or not.
To go to work or not, yes. To drive or not to drive. You know what I'm saying? To talk or not to talk. Every word, don't you know every word that comes out of your mouth is a choice?
It is.
To even speak those words. That's why it's 60,000 choices per 24-hour day.
That is so deep to me. I don't think I've ever thought about it that way, Dr. Deb. I don't. That is really profound to me, that we even have that much power and authority.
We do, Talani, but guess what? How many of us are actually using those choices to better ourselves?
Things that make you say.
How many of those choices are you using to build another person up and not tear them down? You know, we have so much life force. God has blessed us with the breath of life, which is called a ruach. The ruach, the breath of God, lies in you. Whether you believe him or not, he's in there. He's in there. He's stirred up, and he's ready to give you what you need. But first, you got to want something out of life. You got to desire something greater than yourself. I believe we all have purpose. We all have a destiny. But a lot of us abort those and miscarry those things.
Whew, Dr. Deb.
Well, a man's life is compared to a woman in labor.
Wow.
What does that mean? That means sometimes you're going to have pain, and sometimes you will be able to breathe.
Yes.
You got to know the difference. Nobody can do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. And if you're in pain right now, well, you better start breathing. You better let go of some of that pain so you can breathe. You shallow breathing. You just breathing enough for your heart to beat and your body to move.
Hyperventilating.
Oh my God.
That's really literally what that is. And do you know the craziest thing about that? Again, I have to go with, research and a little bit of science, but you're exerting more effort. You're doing more labored breathing when you're not breathing regularly. You're actually requiring more energy and force from your entire body, head to toe, to breathe shallow for an extended amount of time than just releasing yourself and trying to breathe a regular breath. That's something.
But it's reality. It's reality. Like I said, we either going to live or we going to die. If you live, you live the abundant life. You take care of yourself.
Yes.
And what you do for others, you do for you. You don't leave you out. I don't care how much you work. I don't care how much money you make or whatever it is. I don't care what somebody expects you to do or how you should live. You don't let anybody misuse you or throw you away like you don't amount to nothing. That's not living, people. That's dying. Know the difference. We cannot afford to self-destruct. We got too many people out here already doing that. You cannot be a part of self-destruction. When a person self-destructs, they usually try to take another person with them. Because they don't want to do it alone. It's never an alone process. Because somebody loves you. So when they see you self-destruct, guess what? You are self-destructing them as well. Suicide is real. And suicide is not just a physical thing. Don't you know you can have suicide to the mind? Don't you know you can have a suicide to the spirit? Don't you know you can have suicide to the emotions? What does that mean, Dr. Dell? That means you can die in all those areas. Don't you know you die non-tangibly, spiritually first before you can even die physically?
Yes.
It's a process. But we want life. We want more life, and we want to be able to give life as we deserve life. And that's very, very important. Let me give you the 3 H's, Talani, while I'm giving you the 4 P's. Because
Yes.
I gave this to my group today, because, Dr. Dev is always helping somebody, right?
Yes, I know.
So I'm going to give y'all the 3 H's. Humility, happiness, and harmony. Now, when you are humble, guess what? That's your greatest tool against the adversary. That's your greatest tool against pain. That's your greatest tool against anger, discontentment. I don't care what it is. When we humble, we are in control of self.
Yes.
Happiness is linked to events. Happiness is linked to experiences. We don't wake up happy every day. We wake up content. Well, we will want to. Wake up peaceful.
Satisfied.
Satisfied.
Yes.
I like that word.
Yeah.
And now we got harmony. Harmony is just what it is. Having balance in all those areas. Having balance in your mind. Having balance in your spirit. Having balance in your emotions. You ain't up and down. You're not moody. You're not all over the place. You're focused. You're clear. And if you're not focused and clear, what's happening is fear has hijacked your mind. That's what's happened. You done been emotionally manipulated by fear. And that's because something in your spirit, something in your life is unfinished. Unfinished business can only leave a door open for fear. So I would suggest, if you want to know more, as I said, let me say my email again, Debbie.Chabar@gmail, DEBBIE.CHE, B as in boy, A as in apple, R as in Robert, @gmail.com. For those people who need help, please understand. Don't sit there and wait to self-destruct. Do something.
Yes.
Do something. Because you have to flow in harmony. How can two walk together if they don't agree?
True.
If your mind and your heart is not on the same accord, what do you think your body and spirit is going to do?
Discord.
It's going to tear apart. And fear is a door you have to walk through. You can't go over it. You can't go around it. You can't go under it. You got to go through it. And it's a lie that makes you think that you have no control. But once you walk in authority, oh my God, Talani.
Yeah.
Once you understand that you got that thing and that peace core is stirred up inside of you.
Tell it, Dr.
Oh my
Deb.
God, it's nothing going to turn you back. Then guess all the rationale, all the reason, all the logic is in its proper order. So you don't go back to things that tear you down or make you uncomfortable on a constant basis. Yeah, we do reflect on pain.
Or people.
Yes, we
People.
reflect.
Yeah.
Reflecting, that's one thing. That's me. I'm going to think about it for a few minutes and I'm going on about my business.
Not obsess.
Oh, no.
We're not obsessing over it and pondering it and giving it fuel and energy. No. We're going to just go through, reflect, and keep going, keep marching,
Exactly.
overcome.
Yes. And for those people who are grieving tonight, if you're grieving tonight, please understand that there's a place for you.
Yes.
God loves you.
Yes.
You don't have to stay in grief. And if you've lost a loved one, understand that loved one is resting in the bosom of God.
Amen.
But if you're grieving because of any ordinary circumstances, allow yourself to breathe through it.
Yes.
I encourage you today. I encourage you today to just allow yourself just to self-love. Just love yourself again. And once you understand, once you do that and allow yourself just that small moment in time, you will see the greatest move of God.
Amen.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. Our hour has come to an end. You know, thank you to Lonnie. Thank
Dr.
you so
Deb,
much.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Studio
Always a
21, you know, for giving us the opportunity to minister and to encourage the people. And remember, don't judge my journey if you don't understand my walk. And keep it real. Keep it real with yourself and keep love in your heart.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.